What's up, everybody? It's a Crazy Ox. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Destiny 2 video. And today we have a lot to catch up on and talk about. I was out of town for a while, and so today we're going to be talking about all of the updates that happened while I was gone and some of the newer ones as well. We got tons to go over. We're going to be talking about Europa, the new Europa map, the new trailer, breakdown in depth of all the different subclasses, abilities, and supers, new armor sets, new director, new triumphs page, a catalyst badge that might kind of be a little bit of a spoiler for next season, pursuit weapons, gambit, vanguard, everything under the sun. We got a lot to get through, so let's just get started. So we're going to start with the Europa map here. This is looking pretty nice. It's fittingly a dark theme for having the pyramid chip on it. But up at the top there you can see the Eventide Ruins is the first location. The description says, once home to thousands of settlers and now all that remains of Clovis Bray. Now there's one shot of inside the Eventide Ruins, so with it being Clovis Bray, it obviously has a lot of resemblance to Mars with the types of buildings and structures and everything. Next we have Asterion Abyss off to the right side of the map. The description on this one says the Vex structures visible on the surface are only the tip of the iceberg. So obviously we're going to have a lot of Vex activity here, possibly underground, kind of as you can see in the Pyramidion-like structures in that picture. Cadmus Ridge is up next. The description there says a snowy landscape and the last known location of the buried Bray Exoscience facility. I don't think that's to be confused with Deepstone Crypt, because since we already know about that, I think they would have just straight up said Deepstone Crypt, so maybe that's a different facility. I'm not sure. Here's a picture of it kind of overlooking that building. Because I know the Deepstone Crypt is, in my knowledge, supposed to be kind of like a tower almost, so that doesn't really look like it to me. But I mean, hey, I could definitely be wrong, what do I know? Anyways, up next is Sharon's Crossing. It says the site of Europa's communication center and the origin of a distress signal sent by Varix. So I'm not sure if the Exo Stranger is really the one that called us to Europa, or if it was Varix, and maybe they're kind of working together or something, who knows. But I don't think it would be too far-fetched to say that Varix, rather than the Exo Stranger, may be the vendor for Europa, and that Sharon's Crossing may be the main kind of drop point where we come in for the vendor and everything. And then we have Beyond, the final area. It says, an old friend awaits us in the clearing that overlooks the conflict between light and dark. So aka the cutscene with the pyramid happens here. This is what it looks like here, and in my opinion this is kind of going to be like the bottom area on the Tangled Shore, where it's just like that wasteland and there's not really anything to do. It's mainly probably just going to be used for campaign purposes, and we're not really going to see a lot happen there as far as actual events and activities go. But anyways, let's get on to the trailer here and break that down.
What have you seen out there? Look beyond the frozen wasteland.
Okay, first I'm going to stop it here real quick. This looks like Asterion Abyss, the Vex area, as you can tell with the background. There's a new type of pyramid scale, it looks like, forming there, so I don't know if this is going to be some sort of contact event or some sort of similar public event that happens specifically on Europa.
Europa is a place of many mysteries.
Again, I'm guessing Asterion Abyss because it says the Vex activity is the tip of the iceberg, kind of implying something underground. This looks like some sort of underground Vex structure here.
Do not lose your way. We all come to this moon looking for answers. What do you hope to find here?
Okay, stop. That's something new. Usually, obviously, you'll recognize certain architectures through the game, certain like styles of color and geometry and everything to be able to tell, oh, that's a Vex structure, that's a Cabal structure, that's Fallen. Every race kind of has its own look to it. This is something we haven't seen before, which is something to take note of. So I don't know if this is deep stone crypt architecture or darkness, especially with kind of the pyramid shape to it. I kind of want to say that, but I don't think we'll see the darkness, alien race or whatever until Witch Queen. So I wouldn't want to jump to the conclusion yet that that's what this is, but who knows? Definitely kind of keep that in mind.
Europa has been home to darkness for some time now. Its history could be.
This is definitely something else I'm going to take note of here. It just said uncover the truth, and immediately after it shows an Exo and a Vex kind of in the same pod in presumably the Deep Stone Crypt. So this makes me wonder, like, what's the link there? Why would they put those two side by side? Maybe Clovis Bray was the one that accidentally created the Vex with good intentions, kind of like an Ultron sort of situation.
The key to our fight. Help me unlock it.
This is weird here as well. It looks like some sort of fallen ogre, like it's almost shooting these projectiles out of its face slash eye slash mouth.
The deepest secrets of Europa are now within our grasp.
Oh, I can't wait. There's so much cryptic stuff going on right now and so little that we know about Europa and everything going on under there. There's some big mystery going on, obviously, as they're talking about uncovering the truth and everything in the trailers. So I feel like there's something huge that we just don't know yet, and I can't wait to figure out what it is. But anyways, next we are going to get on to breaking down the subclasses. Alright, first up is the Shadebinder for the Warlock. The super is called Winter's Wrath. Basically, you have a staff that you're going around with, and you're going to launch projectiles at enemies to freeze them, and then detonate the crystal on your staff, kind of similar to like a Nova Warp sort of super, in order to send out a shock wave and shatter any of those frozen enemies nearby. The melee is a projectile melee from your staff that will instantly freeze. Then you can also throw down a rift, which will send out a little freezing shock wave. For the Titan Behemoth super, you're going to have Glacial Quake, which is basically an ice version of Striker. You're just going to go around ground pounding and slamming down your ice crystal covered fists and freezing enemies. And then you've got your kind of Superman punch melee, which is similar to like a melee version of the missile super. The Hunter Revenant super is Silence and Squall. You'll throw two combo blades. The first one freezes enemies, and the second one will detonate on impact, creating a stasis storm. So I'm guessing kind of a debuff and slow of sorts. We also have a dodge that will slow enemies. We can also hold dodge in midair to fall quicker through the air and do a ground pound attack. And then our melee is a throwable shuriken that will chain to nearby enemies and bounce off walls, damaging and slowing them. That's all for supers. Now this here is the new triumphs page. So it's been updated a little bit, as you can tell. But basically you're going to have two triumph scores now. You're going to have your career triumph score and your active triumph score. So your career triumph score is just total what you've done across the whole game. That'll be your higher one, like 60,000 or whatever. Your active will be the one that is only triumphs that you're able to get during the current season, things that haven't been vaulted and whatnot. So newer players will still be able to have a, somewhat impressive triumph score and be able to compare to other players, even though, content has been vaulted and they're not allowed to do it anymore. Now, before I get into what all of those different icons mean and the triumphs, I'm going to look at the exotic catalysts off to the side, because if you look closely, you can see the Deathbringer, the Heir Apparent, the Sunshot, and what looks to be the Leviathan's Breath. The catch is none of those weapons have catalysts yet, which means that's a little spoiler that we're most likely getting catalysts for those 4 weapons at the start of next season, or at some point during next season. Now, looking at the triumphs, the different icons there, I believe all of those are for different locations. The first one, it looks like, is just probably going to be like seasonal and activity stuff. The second one, I believe, is the Cosmodrome, and I'll tell you why in a second. The third looks to be the House of Darkness logo from Europa, so I'd say that's Europa. The fourth is the Moon. The fifth is the Dreaming City. The sixth is the Tangled Shore, because that's the Spider's logo. The seventh is Nessus, that's Failsafe's logo. And the eighth, I believe, is the EDZ, because it matches up with the logo on the EDZ bounties here, with the kind of flower look. Now, onto the Cosmodrome. A lot of people have noticed that that symbol there was actually on a certain someone's armor. And we also have this clip that was pre-D1 in the Cosmodrome of Uldren that I'll play here, and it definitely still has that on his chest, as you can see in the video, but a lot of people are thinking they're going to pull out that clip and use that, and that Uldren will at least have some sort of story in the Cosmodrome, but possibly even be the Cosmodrome vendor in Season 12. Alright, next I want you to take a look at this, because this is the armor for next season for the different factions, for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. They're definitely going to be releasing one set of armor every season. They're going to update it, which is incredible. But I'm loving the Hunter armor. The Gambit and Strikes aren't my favorite, but that black on red on the Hunter, whew. And I'm liking the kind of knife on the chest design there. That's pretty cool. But next we're going to be moving on to Pursuit weapons. Pursuit weapons are going to be making a return next season. This looks like it's kind of a reskin of the Beloved, so they may just be reskinning some of the old Pinnacle weapons like this and Mountaintop and stuff, but basically they're just going to do one per season instead of one per faction per season. But you'll pick it up from Banshee, and when you get it, you'll decide which faction you want to complete the Pursuit weapon under, and based on which one you do, it'll unlock an ornament for that faction to kind of show, which area you earned the Pursuit weapon in. So that way you can kind of show off what mode's your favorite or whatever, but you can, of course, do it on all 3 characters to get all 3 ornaments for it if you wanted to. But here are the 3 different skins. You've got Strikes here, the Crucible ornament, and Gambit. Honestly, Gambit may look best in my opinion. Alright, and then for the new directors, this is the new Vanguard director. It is just going to be playlist Strikes and the Ordeal. Regular Nightfalls are going away, as well as the heroic daily missions. But Strikes, they said they're going to be increasing the rewards and adding, quote, adept rewards or adept weapons. So hopefully we'll be getting better rewards from that, because I'm tired of getting blues all the time. And then, like I said, they do still have the Ordeal there. Then we have the new Gambit director. The Reckoning is going away, so is Gambit. It's just going to be Gambit Prime and private matches. Gambit and Gambit Prime are kind of merging. They wanted to create Gambit Prime that's a little bit more of a boss rush, so I believe boss damage is going to be reduced a little bit. It's going to be more of like a mini boss. I said boss damage, I meant boss health. But they're changing a lot of things with Gambit, though, trying to get more people into it, because it's obviously not the most popular mode. So invader intervals have been increased, so it'll take longer, but between invasions, so that you don't have people, invaders breathing down your neck constantly. Also, you have the Taken Captain blocker has been replaced with the Phalanx, so you don't have to worry about those shadow balls anymore. They thought the medium blocker was a little bit too potent, and wanted to replace it with something that's still harder to kill, but not as easy to kill you. The only other change for Gambit was they're removing the armor perks for the Gambit armor sets. So no more 20 moat blockers and stuff like that, because the Reckoning has been removed, so it's impossible to get those suits now. And then for Crucible, here's the new director there. Rotators have been completely removed. No more momentum control, clash, lockdown, breakthrough, any of that, scorch. It's just the core game modes and Iron Banner. But speaking of Iron Banner finally did receive its freelance mode. Alright guys, well that about covers it. Thank you so much for sticking through this video. I know it was a little bit of a long one, a lot of information to get through, a lot of stuff to catch up on, so I apologize I was out of town and couldn't get all this into more short, condensed videos, but I appreciate you guys sticking through it. Can't wait for Beyond Light, can't even wait for, Festival of the Lost to get some of that dope Halloween gear. But yeah, let me know if there's anything that you guys want to know about Beyond Light. If there's any questions you have, I can try my best to answer it with the information I have. Let me know in the comments below if there's any future videos you'd like to see me do, any different content. And besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a fantastic day.